All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about one of the scariest phone scams out there. But more importantly, I'm going to show you exactly how to shut it down with just 4 simple words.
So picture this, right? Your phone rings. It's a number you don't recognize. You answer, and the voice on the other end is, well, it's not friendly. In fact, it's a voice that's designed to make your heart just stop.
And that's the hook. It's just a pure shot of fear, right? They're not just threatening your money, they're threatening your freedom, your reputation. They want you to panic, to act before you have a chance to even think. But listen, here is the single most important thing you have to know about that call.
It's that every single word you just heard was a complete lie. That wasn't a police officer. No way. That was just a scammer, probably sitting somewhere with a list of names and a script, and their only goal is to scare you out of your hard-earned money.
And that's really the perfect word for them. A phantom. You know? Something that seems terrifying, but there's nothing really there. And once you see how the trick works, all that power they seem to have, it just evaporates.
Okay, so how in the world do they make a total lie sound so real, so convincing? Well, it's not random. It's a very specific strategy, and understanding it is the key to taking away all their power.
So this phantom debt is the ghost in the machine here. It might be based on some ancient debt you paid off years ago, or it could be totally made up from thin air. For the scammer, it honestly doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is that they can make you believe it's real.
And that's the million-dollar question, right? If the debt is fake, how do they sound so official? Why do so many people fall for this? The answer is actually pretty simple and kind of chilling. They use your own information against you.
So here's their playbook, and it's actually kind of crude when you break it down. First, they buy these cheap old data lists that have been leaked all over the internet. You know, lists with your name, maybe an old address, maybe the last 4 digits of your social. Then, and this is the clever part, they read that info back to you, and you immediately think, oh wow, this must be legit. And once they have you hooked, they hit you with what the source material calls legal terror, the threats of being arrested, of being humiliated at your job. It's pure psychological warfare.
But, and this is the best part, you don't need some high-powered lawyer to fight back. You don't need a complicated defense. All you need is one little piece of knowledge and one simple phrase that completely flips the script on them.
Okay, let's get this absolutely crystal clear, because this right here is the foundation of your entire defense. In the United States, you cannot be thrown in jail for not paying a regular consumer debt. I'm talking credit cards, medical bills, a personal loan. It just doesn't happen. Period. End of story.
You see, their entire scam, this whole house of cards, is built on you not knowing that one simple fact. The second you know the truth, their threats they mean nothing. Your knowledge is literally the shield that makes you invincible to their attack.
And here they are. These are the 4 magic words. You don't yell, you don't argue, you just say this calmly and clearly.
So why does this work so well? I mean, why these specific words? Well, this isn't just some clever thing to say. This phrase is powerful because it's actually rooted in federal law, and it backs the scammer into a corner they absolutely cannot get out of.
And this is the genius of it. When you say that phrase, you're actually using your rights under a federal law, the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, or FDCPA. See, that law says a real debt collector has to stop trying to collect and mail you written proof of the debt. But a phantom collector, they can't do that. They can't mail you proof of a debt that's not real or that they don't own. And trying to mail fake legal documents, that's a serious federal crime. It's called mail fraud. And trust me, that's a line they are not willing to cross. So what happens? They'll probably yell at you, maybe threaten you one last time, and then they'll hang up, and you'll never hear from them again.
So let's kind of wrap this all up. The big idea here is so empowering. You don't need to run out and hire a lawyer, because in this fight, that knowledge you now have, that is your lawyer.
Look, the scammer wants you to get emotional. They want you to panic, to argue, to get scared. Don't give them what they want. Staying calm and just simply stating your legal rights, it's like putting up a brick wall they just can't get through. It's the most powerful defense you could possibly have.
And really, the takeaway here is bigger than just this one scam. It shows that just understanding a system and knowing your rights inside that system is the ultimate form of power. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What other parts of your life are out there where just a little bit of knowledge could completely change the entire game?